record, I watched 2 episodes last night. Right.
Oh, thank you very much.
No, you weren't. Thank you. By the way, what kind of job is it when you have to watch great telly with great people in it, scaring the bejesus out of you on a Thursday night? So there's one rebellious but brilliant young cop in it. There's a rather clever, really super intelligent, bad older cop in it, and there's another cop sort of in between the two. Is that about right?
That's about it.
Am I on the money
that's
there?
how it works. Yeah.
Okay, do you want to frame it in a bit more detail?
Well, what happens is an emergency call comes in with a piece of information that suggests that somebody might have been put away for something they may or may not have done, but they confessed it's a murder. And this kind of fires up this young cop, played by the fantastic Cush Jumbo, who tracks down the officer who made the original conviction, who is me, a grizzled older cop on the edge of retirement. And it's a really bad idea for her to come around and start digging into my past, because I don't like it.
You don't like it at all. And the first few scenes is your character fulfilling the role of a chauffeur.
Yeah. Well, that was a strange thing that may have happened to you. Where that came from was I was being driven to the BAFTAs one night in a very glamorous fashion. And I fell into conversation, as I often do, with the driver.
Yeah.
And the driver eventually revealed to me, because I could tell he was clearly not full-time driver, he was a detective.
Currently?
Yeah, that's what he... Yeah. Well, he was. I don't want to get anyone into trouble.
Yeah.
But and I discovered as with other award ceremonies that I went to that it's quite common for your driver to be a detective, not just like a copper on the beat, but a detective, because they're also acting as security.
Yeah.
And of course, they like to tell you stories because you impress them with your little showbiz stories. Well, they start to impress you with their horror stories about what happened on this street or what happened. But he sort of told us a story that connected to a real, genuine case and told us some facts about that. And I thought, God, that's a brilliant start for a show.
Right.
So
it was your idea, that bit?
No, it was an experience I had. It wasn't my idea. It was a factual thing that we just stuck in at the start because it was good.
Because it starts off and straight away, I suppose, I don't know, because you do this stuff. As a viewer, I'm thinking, they've got me guessing straight away. I suppose that is the whole thing of these it's not necessarily a murder mystery, it's a mystery, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a cop mystery. Straight away I'm thinking, why is he really a cop, right? If he is a cop, is he an ex-cop? Why is he driving? Is he undercover? Am I supposed to think all those things?
Yeah.
Because I did.
Yeah.
I was in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, things will be made clear. I mean, one of the great things about crime drama is that, you can delve into the psyche and into darker parts of the psyche, but actually it's still got to be a show. It's still got to have a SWAT team in it, and a helicopter and guns and all of that kind of stuff.
Fight scenes.
All of that stuff. One of my most fun bits of acting in it was when I got to cross the police have the ribbon that says "Do not cross." Yeah. So I walked on and lifted that and walked through it. That's so cool. With a cup of coffee.
So you're how do we get this across? Because again, it's all about spoilers, isn't it? This is an Apple TV Plus show. You've been all around the world promoting this show. Are we towards the end of your promo tour?
No.
Where do we sit in it?
We just came back from New York last night. We did it because the world has changed so much. I mean, in the old days, you know, I'm an actor of a certain vintage. So in the old days, you'd do a show for the BBC, and if you were lucky, it might get sold to Australia, or maybe Hong Kong or whatever, and that would happen over a period of 6 months, maybe a year, whatever, and you get a check for £2.20 in 2 years' time for a repeat. Nowadays, you do a show for Apple, they press a button and it's on in 130 countries. In one go, which happened yesterday.
Right.
So suddenly, bang, it's out there. So we were in New York all this week, kind of sort of selling it there and doing lots of international stuff. And so I'm being very glamorous and kind of jet lagged this morning. But this isn't what my life is normally like. It isn't.
Is it getting more like that or less like that?
I can't really tell because I'm in a sort of giddy, dizzy stage,
Right.
Where I really just want to go to bed. Oh, it's
I'm
lovely to
sorry.
see you.
I'm sorry. No, I know. I got that. I thought that, and I thought. Because I don't really mind whether people come on the show or not. And people say to me, oh, they can't make it, or they can make it, or they don't want to do your show. I go, fine, I don't mind. I don't want them to come if they don't want to come. Or if so honestly, Pete, I love you to death, but you can go to home now if you want to.
No, I will after this. But no, you're lovely. It's lovely to be on the show. You're one of the people you go, actually, and I would love to do that show because you have such a friendly atmosphere and it's so warm and it's such a great show.
Okay, let's try and keep that theme going then, shall we? My next question threatens that, to be honest, because you are so scary in it. You know, your face is an extremely scary face. It's also very kind, your face as well. But do you find that people laughing? No, it's true though. You scared. We all said it this morning. Said he's so scary, right?
So scary. Wow. I don't know where that comes from.
Do you ever scare? You look in the mirror.
Do I scare myself?
Yes. That's my question.
No, I scare myself professionally sometimes. Sometimes I see myself acting and go, how does that guy get a job? How is he still working? But something seemed to happen to me. I mean, I used to be, when I started out when I was younger, I was a kind of amiable, kind of gentle comedy guy, a kind of, a geeky kind of youngster and whatever. And then something happened. I remember I was doing a voiceover. I don't know if I'm allowed to say, can I mention a product?
Anything you like.
I used to do voiceovers for Anchor Butter, which were quite friendly.
Would you like to recreate that moment?
I can't remember what it was I said, but I remember I went into a session, which turned out to be my last session, because I delivered the line, whatever it was, Anchor Butter feels like home, or whatever it is. And the guy said to me, could you be a little less sinister? And I thought, oh, my voice, I've moved into a sinister
This is me
zone.
on a good day.
I know, I'm being cheerful. I don't know. I think it's just you get older and more things happen in your life and you get exposed to bad things as well as good things. And sometimes that colours your face. But it's all acting. I mean, it's all pretend.
No,
basically.
I know. But you do have this sort of, you have the raw materials more than most, don't you?
I don't know.
Oh, my God. Honestly, Peter, I'm not joking. I am not joking. Because your character, what's his name again? DSI? Hegarty, yeah. So
scary name.
Scary, Hegarty. Scary names. But he's sort of a bit likeable, which I suppose is the deal, isn't it? You think, hang on, am I misunderstanding him? Is he misunderstood? Has he done anything wrong?
I think that's one of the things about, crime shows, which we were saying about SWAT teams and helicopters and guns and all that stuff. You have to sort of keep the audience guessing.
Yeah.
So you have to throw a veil really over what you want to. A lot of those other parts I played, like Doctor Who or Markham Tucker stuff, they're really out there. They really tell the audience what the audience needs to know.
Yeah.
This guy's hidden, and that's part of his mechanical role in the telling of the story. Is to be somebody who you go.
It's the mystery of the characters as well as the mystery of the story, isn't it?
Yeah.
And great thing about, I suppose this is why when you can watch some really good stuff, you can watch it 2, 3, 4, you can watch it 100 times, really good stuff, because you can pick which part of the puzzle you're going to play with next on the rewatch.
Yeah.
So do you pick apart the characters, a character, the story, the whole time in question?
Yeah, and also, London is such a fabulous location for shooting crime things. I mean, it's this great sort of bubbling cauldron. Now you've got to just look out the window here and look at what a fabulous view we have here, of the city and what's going on down there.
What's going on? That's
there
the
are
thing.
1,000 stories in the naked city.
Yeah.
This is one of them.
Well, from this type, because we're on the 17th floor, it looks like London's closed because it's just so far away from it. It's like when you're on the Pacific Coast Highway and driving up north from LA to San Francisco. The waves are 30 feet high, but you're so high up, they look like little ripples and you can't hear them.
Yeah. But I used to love all those London movies like The Long Good Friday, and Mona Lisa, which is a fabulous London crime movie with Kathy Tyson in it, who is in our show. I was so thrilled when she agreed to be in our show because, Mona Lisa had been one of the inspirations for it.
Well, we haven't so far said anything about the plot or the story.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you're sort of match fit with this. How much do you want to say and how much do you not want to say? Criminal Record, episode 1 and 2 out now. New episodes released every Wednesday on Apple TV+.
It's a cat and mouse game between a grizzled older cop and a young, fresh-faced rookie who seeks justice in a darkening world.
So he may well have bent the rules for the wrong reasons in the past.
I don't know. I can't tell you any of that.
No, that's what I'm saying. He may well have. It wasn't a question, right? But they do have something in common. Because they have they're both very, very intelligent.
Yeah.
There may be some kind of weird respect for each other as well. And also, they're both rebels and they're both mavericks and they both bend the rules for different reasons in their own way.
Yeah, they're not mavericks and they're not buddies. Mavericks, they always say Maverick Cops. They're not, I don't like Maverick Cops.
Okay, sorry, I apologize. There was a cop show called Maverick, wasn't there? It was
Top Gun.
What,
Top Gun.
No, I know there's a
Is
character
Maverick
called
not
Maverick.
is that not a cowboy thing?
I don't know. Why do you dislike the term Maverick so much?
Because that's usually the description when someone says to you about a part, it's a great part, it's a Maverick cop.
Oh, I see.
And you go, oh yeah, you mean you've just copied all these other cops.
Not for me.
It's just a guy that drinks too much or whatever.
God, I feel bad now. It was going well,
Don't
wasn't
feel
it?
bad.
Oh,
no, I feel bad. I shouldn't have done that. That's not me. You know that.
Did you work with your wife on this show?
My wife produced this show. She was the executive producer of this show.
How does that feel?
Well,
how does it pan out? How does it happen?
How does it happen? Well, there is nothing. There's nothing. My wife has an idea, which is my wife's produced Vera and Shetland and shows like that. She was interested in why people make confessions and then retract them.
Right.
Which is historically very interesting. And she wanted to do a show that was based on that premise. So she contacted Paul Ruttman, who's a wonderful writer that she worked with on Vera, and they started talking about it and putting these ideas together. And as they put those ideas together, I could see there was a cop in there who looked quite interesting.
Yeah.
And I said, who are you thinking of? For the cop, because I might be.
Did you actually do that? No, come on.
Sort of more. It was more.
Was it a
complicated
tap on the shoulder? Were you looking at? Did she have a script on the sofa or?
They were talking about it, and I sort of said, I think I might be quite good in that role.
This is interesting. Okay, I'm scared. I can't believe I'm venturing into. Right, watch out for this question, Bassos. Do you think that they set a trap for you to fall in, asking for the part?
Yeah, of course.
All right. So she left, if you leave a book around that you want people to read, it was that kind of thing.
Yes. Well, of course, what I've just described, what happened is the showbiz version, as you know, for the radio, because we're on the radio and we have to deliver, we have to compact and alter the truth to make it more fun.
Okay.
The truth was more long drawn out and less humorous.
It's funny because the truth about radio communication, because there's a lot of that. There's a lot of it's dependent. The beginnings of the episode 1 is very dependent on certain transactions of emergency calls to 999 and what happens then. Now, there's two things you can do here. Well, there's three nowadays, which is what we're going to get to. So you can dramatise what happens in those particular exchanges. Okay, that's one way of doing it. Then you could try and be gritty and dramatise or under-dramatise those exchanges to say, well, this is how it really is. But then it wouldn't be exciting enough. But actually, it seems to me like people have gone and done the rest of thinking, no, how are they? Because that's dramatic enough in the moment. They seem, I don't know, but they seem extremely real to me, how that might be, how that might play out.
You mean the emergency call scenario?
The emergency call scenario and what happens, the responsibility and the protocol and the practices of how those calls are received and then graded instantly in the moment from sentence to sentence.
Yeah. Obviously, the show is, we hope, a responsible show.
Right.
And Paul Ruttman and Elaine are very, very responsible writers and producers. And they have people, obviously, who are advising about how that process works.
Yeah.
So everything like that is kind of based on truth. That has to be the cornerstone of everything. Yeah. Otherwise, it all falls to pieces.
But also when she asks for assistance at crime scenes, and it's like, this sounds like this might be how it happens.
Yeah, it is, because obviously there are police advisors that we have and all of that stuff.
And that's all changed, hasn't it, in the last few years? That's all gone to a different level, I think.
I don't really know, because I'm not a policeman.
No, but you're a viewer.
I'm a viewer.
It seems to be those situations seem to be portrayed now grittier and differently to how they were in the past.
Why were they done in the past?
Just softer, or not. They didn't seem to be as
Well, I used to like when you had to dial. That was suspense. Hello? Get me Scotland Yard.
I suppose it's about the long form, having the time and the space to get into the detail of those things.
Yeah, and also it's because, I mean, Paul is such a wonderful writer. He writes very cinematically. So what happens is he cuts through time. Ooh. You know, you may have, I mean, that whole thing that we have in the first episode about the emergency call, it happened the night before, but we're seeing her listening to it, but we're cutting back and forth to it. And that was all in the script. That's all beautifully delineated in the script and conceived beforehand. So, you know, I love the way that happens. But yes, all the technology helps tremendously.
As Doctor Who helps you turn left and left again, as you may not have planned, if there ever was a plan to, and if there ever is really a plan to anybody's career, as opposed to conveniently reverse engineering for the sake of a decent biog, for example. You know, has this helped you? Because have you ever inhabited a role like this before? I don't think you have.
No, this was totally new for me.
Okay, in what way? What flavours are new?
The flavour that was new was that he was hidden, that he had to be veiled, that he had to be. You couldn't, you know. We had to have the sense that he was, you know, one of those. He was, of all the characters in the show, he's actually the most film noirish. Yes. He's actually quite a classical character. Nice. You know, yes, it's very gritty, it's very modern, all that kind of stuff, blah, 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 blah. But actually, he belongs to an illustrious and dark past. I think he kind of belongs to London. He's that kind of sort of, although obviously he's Scottish and all that, he's just part of, you know, the great pile of people who have come here and become absorbed and loved London and been part of the layers of sediment that have built up. Where am I going with this?
You're so good.
I don't know where I'm going with this.
I love it when you jet lag. It's great.
Oh, God.
What a show this morning after Alan Cumming now, one of my all-time favourite actors. I love Peter Capaldi since The Crow Road, and I've longed for hair like his ever since, but I've never got it. Oh, that's good, isn't it?
Well, that's good.
Fran says, I need to go to work, but I can't stop listening to this chat with Peter Capaldi. Too good. Happy weekend. That's probably till my last but one question. John from Leamington Spa. A few years ago, I was visiting the Doctor Who experience with my... Did you play Doctor Who? Did you? Is that right? Have you been Doctor Who?
I have, yeah.
No way.
Not in the the real Doctor Who, not a guy at the Doctor Who experience.
Apparently, number 12 is what I'm hearing. You hate that, don't you? I don't number them. That's what they do in America. He was a huge Doctor Who fan. While we were there, Peter Capaldi and his wife quietly sat down in the cafe and signed autographs and did selfies with fans. He's such a lovely, friendly bloke. And we all have huge respect for him. My daughter declared it the best day ever.
Ah, that's very sweet of them to say.
It's cool, isn't it? Where are you in your Whovian past?
What do you mean? Where am I in my Whovian past?
Because you know you play Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Yeah. You couldn't be any hotter. The heat tends to resonate for quite a while.
Yeah.
The afterburn.
It's nice.
Out of 10, where are you still? Do you think?
Probably, I would say 7.
You're not allowed a 7.
Well, people are just. Well, I don't know. I mean, people. Sometimes you see people. Lots of people come and talk to me about it, which is lovely. It's always a nice experience. And then I often see people who are a little bit scared to come and talk to me. Yeah. And of course, you can't go, particularly if they're young. You can't go and say, "Would you like a selfie with the doctor?" or anything like that. So it's retreated a little, but it's nice. You feel a little bit like Santa Claus. Or Peter Pan or something like that.
I've heard you say that before.
Because I know it's the same old material. Come on, give me a break.
I'm not having it. I want original answers to my unoriginal questions.
You're coming to the wrong person for original stuff. No, I love it, and I'm really enjoying the show at the moment. I think it's great. I think Shooty's amazing. I think he's got such vigour and excitement and love about him and such charisma.
As a past Doctor, I don't think you're ever colder than an 8 as long as you're alive.
You think?
I don't think so.
Okay. I'll take that.
Do you go to the Comic Cons and all that stuff?
No, I haven't for a few years now.
But what are they like? What is it like to? Is that like no other kind of sort of public appearance?
It's strange just because it's just full of people who love you but don't know you.
Right.
And I think it's I find it a little weird because I'm brought up that when people talk to me, I feel as if I should talk to them for, make a conversation with them. But there's a kind of minder saying, we've got to move on. We've got to move on because there's like, you know,
like beep, boop.
1,000 people here or something like that. So we've got to get, yeah.
Right.
Kerching. I think the noise we need is kerching. Kerching.
No, I'm not going to be part of it. I've heard some extraordinary stories about those Comic Cons from a commercial point of view. Vassos.
We loved this. I watched this with my wife on Apple TV yesterday. We watched the first episode, and she immediately, from the first moment you were driving, she goes, "Oh, I don't trust him in this." and then she heard me say on the air earlier that you're so. I mean, it's, I suppose, a bit sinister in this. That when you say next time, do what your boss says and just send an email. I thought, even when he says that, you know, Peter comes across as a bit scary. He goes, forget that. When he says, this calls for a cup of tea.
No, it's true, by the way. It's true. It's the most eerie, this calls for a cup. What does that mean? What do you mean, cup of tea? What kind of cup of tea is it? Is it poisoned? Is it herbal? Is it builders?
Well, could you get in touch with Anchor Butter and tell them that?
It seems like you were reveling in this.
I think I enjoyed playing it because it was hard. It was something that I'm not used to doing. Working with Kush was amazing because we sort of, without discussing it, decided not to rehearse. So although we knew all of our lines, we just sort of did it. So what you see in front of the cameras is sort of the first time us doing it with each other and seeing what the other one's going to do and stuff like that. And we kept that going all the way through. So that gave it a certain kind of tang, a certain kind of.
Is that unusual, not to rehearse?
Yeah, it is unusual. I mean, I have to say I prefer not to rehearse because I'm not, you know, I always think if I find something when we're rehearsing, I'll never get it when we do it. So I'd rather just you know, work out where we're going to stand and stuff like that, and then just start shooting.
Do the crew like that more? Because I would imagine it doesn't take as long.
Oh no, it takes a long time because we keep going and going and going.
Oh right, I see. Oh.
I think it's just good to keep the energy there, you know, just to keep a thing alive. Rehearsing can sort of drain all the energy out of something.
We're not fans of that.
No.
That's why we do radio. That's what we do. Keep going for 3.5 hours every day. Seems longer apparently than listen safe sometimes. Most days. Peter, thank you so much for coming in.
You're welcome.
Criminal Record, episode 1 and 2 out now. 8 in all, I'm hearing.
That's right.
Okay. The episode's released every Wednesday. It's really scary. Of course, it's mysterious, you know, and it's a criminal drama, but it's also scary. It's almost like a horror film.
Oh, no, it's not. It's not a horror.
You don't know how scary you are in this. Seriously, you have no idea. And you're getting scarier.
I'm not getting scarier. Look at me. Look at the state of me.
You could be... I mean, you know, you could be anything you want, scary-wise. If anybody's looking for a scary character,
a scary granddad
in the world of anything you like, in the world of cinema, whether it's the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the next Bond film, whatever that's going to be. What's the greatest whisper going on in the movie industry at the moment? Positive. What's the greatest positive, interesting whisper going on in your world, in the acting, TV, mega series, cinematic production world that you shouldn't be telling us about?
That the Bond film will be a period film.
Shut up.
No, that's the only way they can do it.
No, an origin film. Yeah.
An
origin film.
Yeah. That's the
We're
whisper.
going to go backwards.
Yeah. Set it in the 60s.
Yeah.
Can you imagine a Bond film set in the 60s?
Yeah,
I know there are some.
Yeah, I suppose so. But because the novels were 30s and 40s, weren't they?
Were they really? Did you see that great documentary about Noel Coward? Neighbours with Ian Fleming in Jamaica.
Yeah, GoldenEye.
And that Noel Coward had been a spy.
Yeah. Have you read Noel Coward's diaries?
No, I haven't.
Oh my God, they're so good.
Shaken not stirred.
They're so good because he was a big painter, wasn't he?
I believe so. Yeah.
And you're a sketcher and a musician and an actor.
What a guy!
Come on,
Renaissance man.
What a guy I am. Obviously, you're really good at acting. That's how you put food on the table. If you could, if the genie
I am a crust.
If the genie came out of the lamp, right, an artisan crust.
Yeah,
a Gale's crust. Maybe. If the genie came out of the lamp, acting, musicianship, or art, sketching, that is. It's all art. Which would you choose? Gold, silver, bronze? Or are you just grateful for what you are, so let's leave them in that order?
I'm grateful for having been able to have a go at all of these things. Right. I don't claim to be particularly good at any of them. It's just...
If your music had to have a world title fight, your musicianship against your artistry, which would win?
It's all me. No, it is. You know, I just think. I mean, I went to art school, and the ethos when I went there was you can kind of do anything.
Right.
Not that you're going to be trapped into this little cubbyhole. You know, and I don't claim to do any of these things particularly well. It's just I like doing them, and I have some little flair for some of them, and I've discovered that if you keep at things, if you keep showing up, you get a bit better. That's cool, isn't it? Compound interest is massive, isn't it? Yeah.
The compound interest. Yeah. People overestimate what they can do in a day, but they underestimate what they can achieve in 10 years.
Yeah, keep coming back, keep showing up.
Well, I'll be here if you'll be here. You know where we live, yeah? Can't get rid of us.
No.
They can't get rid of me.
No, we'll keep it at it.
Thank you, Peter. That's great.
Lovely to see you.
Nice to see you.
Lovely to be
Off
here.
to bed now?
Off to bed now, yes.
He's definitely going to bed straight away. All right, it's on the telly. Criminal Record. This is the Saffron, the Platinum. Forget the Golden Age of telly. Criminal Record episode 1 and 2 out now. New episodes released every Wednesday. Cheers, man.
Virgin Radio.